Hey guys, Andru here, editor-in-chief of GearLive.com, and a few weeks ago, Google introduced its first full smartphone ever in the Google Pixel and the larger Google Pixel XL. It's Google through and through, from the hardware to the software. Now here's the Pixel right here, and I wouldn't blame you if at first glance you thought you were looking at an iPhone 6. And while the look of the Pixel isn't exactly unique, there are a few features that make it stand out from the pack. Now before I get into those, I'm actually running a giveaway and I want to remind you about it before we jump into the rest of the video. There will be 2 winners, each of whom will receive the smartphone of their choice, and they'll be able to choose between a 128GB Google Pixel XL or a 128GB iPhone 7 Plus. Now these are both $850 smartphones, and there'll be 2 winners who get one for free. I'll leave a link in the description below and a card somewhere here in the video player as well, so you can enter. But like I said, the Google Pixel has features that set it apart from the pack, and today I'm going to share with you 5 of those features that I think make it worth considering for your next smartphone purchase, starting with the Google Assistant. Now, Pixel smartphones ship with a slightly tweaked version of Android 7.1 Nougat. Although things like multitasking and doze are available on any other Nexus device, the Google Assistant feature isn't. It's exclusive here to the Pixel. Google Assistant is the voice assistant found on Pixel smartphones, and it really combines factual and conversational information into a very easy to use interface. It's new, so it's not flawless, but it definitely is a refresh over Google Now found on all other Android devices, allowing you to get answers, manage daily tasks, find photos easier, and much more. Here's an example of how it works and how it can follow a conversation, and pay special attention to the follow-up questions that I asked the assistant.
Okay, Google. Who's the President of the United States?
President Barack Obama.
Who is he married to?
Michelle Obama since 1992.
When is the next Warriors game?
The Golden State Warriors will play the New Orleans Pelicans tomorrow at 6:30 p.m.
How did they do in their last game?
Last Tuesday, the Golden State Warriors played the San Antonio Spurs.
So the Assistant is good today, and it'll only get better with time. The next major feature on the Google Pixel has to be the camera. Google spent a lot of time talking about what makes this camera special. The 12.3 megapixel primary camera takes some great pictures in daylight as well as in the night. I'm particularly happy with the HDR Plus mode and the fast shutter speed. It also takes some very detailed video at 4K, and stability looks good despite the fact that there's no optical image stabilization. Instead, at least for video, it uses electronic image stabilization, which means the software is doing the smoothing. The lens blur feature is really handy, but it doesn't work all the time, especially when the edges of a subject are hard to find. The story is similar for the front camera, sporting 8 megapixels with an f2.4 aperture with fixed focus. You get great detail in photos, and it records video in up to 720p. Google has boasted about the DxOMark rating of 89, the highest in fact for any smartphone camera ever, but that is a fairly meaningless test. All you need to know is that this camera can hold its own with other flagship cameras on the market, and although I would have liked to have seen optical image stabilization included on at least the Pixel XL, this is still a fantastic camera. Continuing on that photo theme though, the next major feature that I think sets the Google Pixel apart has got to be the unlimited photo and video storage at full resolution in the cloud. That's right, if you own a Google Pixel or a Pixel XL, all of the photos and all of the videos that you take, even the huge 4K videos, get saved to Google Photos in the cloud completely for free in their full resolution. You don't have to pay any additional storage fees, and that's a total win for anyone who takes a bunch of photos, anyone who takes a bunch of selfies, and especially anyone who takes a lot of video, because you never have to worry about running out of space on your phone. Everything will always be backed up to the cloud, and again, you don't have to pay for it. This is something I'd love to see other phone manufacturers offer to their customers as well. And yes, I'm looking at you, Apple. Okay, next big feature, top tier specs. And that's actually something you don't usually hear people talk about with previous Nexus devices. But now with Google coming out with its own phone from both a hardware and software perspective, things are different. To add to a very vivid 24-bit AMOLED display, and that's a 5-inch display on the Pixel and 5.5 inches on the Pixel XL, Google has also added the latest Qualcomm Snapdragon 821 chipset, clocked at 2.2 gigahertz under the hood. Now you combine that with Android's latest Nougat software, and the Pixel and Pixel XL fly rise through pretty much any task you throw at it consistently. And lastly on my list of the top 5 features for the Google Pixel has to be Google Daydream support. Along with artificial intelligence and augmented reality, virtual reality is one of the next 3 big technologies that I think are coming in the very near future. Google's going all in with this new Daydream VR headset, and the Pixel and Pixel XL are the very first phones that will officially support Daydream. Google's Daydream View headset is set to ship in November, and if you want to take advantage of it out of the box, then you'll want to have a Pixel or Pixel XL in your possession. So that about sums up the most important features that I think are included in the new Google Pixel and Google Pixel XL. And don't forget, we're giving away 2 of these devices in a giveaway that's running right now. Link in the description below. And by the way, feel free to drop a like on this video if you're excited to win a new Google Pixel XL or iPhone 7 Plus. There are other features worth mentioning on the Pixel, as well as some misses that left me scratching my head, all of which will be featured in my full Pixel review coming soon. Be sure to click or tap on my face in order to subscribe for free in order to be notified of new giveaways and reviews. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate your support. I'm Andrew Edwards, and I'll catch you in the next video.